All right, welcome everyone. We have a couple of announcements this evening because it is a little different. As we reorganize, this is a continuation of the meeting that we had at the end of November, I'm sorry. We're gonna do a sound check first, and then we're gonna take care of some housekeeping items, and then we'll move into the meeting. So if we could just start with Mr. Renninger.
Hello?
Sound check.
Hello?
Good evening.
Hello. Teacher voice.
Testing 1, 2.
Testing 1, 2.
Hello.
Testing. Yeah. Okay.
Testing 1, 2.
All right, thank you. So at the beginning of a reorganization meeting, we have holdover members which were not part of the election process. And so those holdover members will begin the proceedings by nominating and voting for a temporary president to take care of reorganization. So it does not start with the usual call to order, the pledge to the flag, because of the continuation. So we are seated now, and we have 5 members who are holdover members. So we have Mr. Renninger, Ms. Wagner, we have Mrs. Fox, Reverend Eshelman, and Mrs. Blickel, who are the holdover members who can appoint a temporary president to preside over the election of the president, as well as the swearing in of the members who were just elected or re-elected. So we will proceed with that. We need to start with a nomination for a temporary president.
Dr. Musser, I would like to make a motion that Mrs. Fox be appointed temporary president to begin our board reorganization.
And then we'll need a second for that.
Second.
And then all in favor
Aye.
Aye.
and opposed? So Mrs. Fox, we'll look to you for the next step.
Okay. I want to publicly accept the certificate of elections for Mr. Buckwater, for Mr. You know what? I lost my list. I'm sorry. For Mr. Buckwater, for Mr. Grable, for Mrs. Bollinger, and for Mr. Sensing.
Yes, and Mr. Grable, just to clarify, could not be here tonight, so he did see Justice Hamill, he did have the certificate of election, and he did fulfill the oath of office, and I do have a copy of that.
Wonderful. So, District Justice Hamill, can you please swear in the re-elected and newly elected board members?
Would be my pleasure to do so. Okay, just to make it easier for me to go alphabetical order left to right. So Treva, and then Brett, and then Clint.
That's Liz.
Oh, right, I got you guys backwards, I'm sorry. Okay. And you're all here for 4 year terms. All right, what I will do is introduce things, and you can't all really squeeze in for the Bible, but what I would ask is that you would raise your right hand, and I will introduce things, and when I get to the part that says, I do solemnly swear, I'll just keep pausing, and then you repeat after me. Now, of course, you'll say each of your own individual names, and that doesn't take too long, but I'll just keep pausing, you repeat after me, and then congratulate you, you can sign it, and then you're official, and you can conduct business. Okay, so if you would please raise your right hand, and this is the oath of office for Cocalico School District board members for the state of Pennsylvania and the county of Lancaster, where before me is Magisterial District Judge Nancy G. Hamill for Magisterial District 237, and in the aforesaid county appeared Treva Bollinger and Brett Buckwalter and Linford Senseney, who, having been elected on November 2nd of this year to the office, as I said, for school director of the Cocalico School District, to a term effective today after they're sworn in December 6th until the first Monday of December 2025. And each of them says, according to law, where they swear or affirm. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and that of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
that I have not paid or contributed
that I have not paid or contributed
or promised to pay or contribute,
or promised to pay or contribute,
either directly or indirectly,
either directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing,
any money or other valuable things,
to procure my nomination
to procure my nomination
or my election,
or my election,
except for the necessary
except for the necessary
and proper expenses
and proper expenses
expressly authorized by law,
expressly authorized by law,
that I have not knowingly
and I have not knowingly
violated any election law
violated any election law
of this Commonwealth,
of this Commonwealth,
or procured it
or procured it
to be done on my behalf.
to be done on my behalf.
I will not knowingly receive,
I will not knowingly receive,
either directly or indirectly,
either directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable things
for the performance
for the performance
or non-performance
or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than
other than
the compensation allowed by law.
the compensation allowed by law.
In these times of COVID, it's up to you whether you shake hands. Because you are all officials.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I congratulate you and thank you very much for doing this job. It's huge. Okay, we'll come over here and sign. And it is my understanding that now you are official to do business on behalf of Cocalico School District. Yeah. So that one's in blue. And there's 2 copies. So, here's some. Yeah. Yes, you are signing here. So, for Dr. Musser, one of them, is that how it's going to work? And then you give each person one?
Yes, one copy stays on file at the district office, but I will make sure you also get a copy for your records.
Okay, could you just want to send it over email or something? Or-
No, you need a copy.
So I can
understand
just
that,
take
but
one
I
and
will
then-
make a copy for that.
Okay. This is not alphabetical, but- Okay. You would sign here and then also the one over here.
You have a copy of Mr. Burgill's, correct?
I do, yes, and he gave you an original.
Yes, yes.
Pens walk. I don't want to-
That's right.
At the same time. Last time.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to do it one.
Thank you, Justice Hamel.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And then, Mr. Buckwalter, Mrs. Bollinger, Mr. Sensnick, I will make copies of this and make sure you also have a copy, and then these will be filed at the district office. Okay, and then we'll turn it over to Mrs. Fox again.
Do I have any nominations for the office of president?
I will nominate Reverend Eshman.
I'll second that nomination.
Any other nominations? Can I have a motion and a second to close nominations for president?
So moved. Second.
All in favor of the motion? Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Can I have a motion and a second to have the secretary cast a unanimous ballot for Reverend Eshelman to serve as school board president for a one-year term of office?
So moved. Second.
Can I have a roll call vote?
Mrs. Fox,
Yes.
Mrs. Bollinger,
Yes.
Mrs. Blickel,
Yes.
Mr. Sensenig.
Yes.
Mr. Renninger,
Yes.
Mr. Buckwalter,
Yes.
Ms. Wagner,
Yes.
Reverend Eshelman.
Abstain.
Congratulations, Reverend Eshelman.
Thank you.
And we'll turn the meeting back over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. Appreciate serving this district, appreciate serving you, appreciate serving our community and our students most of all. We really do have a great school district. I'll do my best to serve you and the community well, so thank you very much. I also wanted to say Justice Hamill left the building. I just wanted to acknowledge we have a long-lasting relationship with her. She, of course, I think everybody would know, is finishing up 42 years of service in this community. So just thanking her as well. So it seemed kind of anticlimactic for her to be here for the last time after swearing in board members for 42 years. But just a special thank you to her as well. So we'll pass that along to her. As we continue on our school board reorganization, we will actually move then to nominations for the office of vice president. And so I'm going to ask for those nominations to be put on the floor now.
I nominate Doug Grable for vice president.
Thank you. Doug Rabel has been nominated for vice president of Cocalico School District Board of Directors. Any others? And hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion and a second to close those nominations.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to close the nominations. So I'll ask all those in favor of that motion to signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, like sign. Having one person nominated for the office of vice president, which is Mr. Doug Grable, I'll ask that a unanimous ballot be called for for that office for a one-year term of office beginning today. So we'll call for a roll call vote.
Do we need to, so I so moved. Do we need to move and second on that?
Yes, that's right, yes. We need to have a
So
motion
moved.
on that, yes, and second.
Sorry.
Okay, having that, we'll go for a roll call vote.
Mrs. Ballinger.
Yes.
Mrs. Blickel.
Yes.
Mr. Sensenig.
Yes.
Mr. Renninger.
Yes.
Mr. Buckwalter.
Yes.
Ms. Wagner.
Yes.
Mrs. Fox.
Yes.
Reverend Eshelman.
Yes. Okay, thank you. We do have some brief business to conduct this evening, which we'll do here for his appointments that we'll get to in just a moment. It really is the only item on our agenda for this evening, and we do have the sign-up sheet for those in the public that would want to comment on any agenda item for this evening, and there is no pre-voting session comments there. So I'm going to review this. This is the appointment. This would have been also in the agenda. But every year we go through these appointments as we do the board reorganization. And these are specific areas in which members of the school board serve in our community and within the school district as well. These are representative appointments. I would just go ahead and make the distinction between, we actually don't have subcommittees as a school board. We work as a committee of the whole. So these are simply board members who represent certain areas in our community or even in school life. So for example, we have a couple things that have been happening just recently if you've been a part of our school board meetings where you've seen these things in action. In the last couple of meetings, we've talked about curriculum, math curriculum and a high school textbook that we're using, which would have been presented to the public and is now on public display, and you're able to see those. Those that serve in the curriculum instruction representatives, as the teachers walk that through and come to a conclusion, we're able just to see that material ahead of time before it comes. But everything comes back here to this board, either in a public work session for discussion, and then of course back here to a voting session. Those decisions are made in that setting there as well. So another one was, of course, you've been hearing for the past number of months about our construction projects, and we have two reps that have been a part of that just simply have been able to take a look at the plans in a more intimate way. Mr. Sensenig has been doing that, who works in construction, so it's great to have someone with that experience looking into it. Ms. Wagner also has been on that has been representing us there as an educator, so it's great, again, just to have that kind of input. So that's the nature of the things that we'll be reviewing here today. So let me review that, and then we'll work through the business of this part as well. So here are the proposed appointments. Item number A is representative to the Lancaster County Tax Collection Committee of Directors. It's a one-year term, and we are proposing Sherry Stahl with Juanita Fox as the alternate. Item number B is the representatives to the Pennsylvania School Board Legislative Council. It's a regional cabinet, and we're proposing Randy Renninger to serve there. Item number C is the representative to Joint Purchasing Board, and the proposed appointments are Sherry Stahl and Leslie Strickler as the alternate. Item number D is the representative to IU Joint Authority. It's the first year of a 5-year term, and that's Sherry Stahl. Item number E is the representative to the Career and Technology Joint Operations Committee, and that's year 1 of a 3-year term, and that is Randy Renninger, and then Desiree Wagner as an alternate. Item number F is the representative to the IU 13 Board of School Directors. It's year 2 of a 3-year term, and that's Brett Buckwalter. Item number G is a School District Meet and Discuss Committee. That's Ella Musser serving as chair, Lynn Sensenig, Brett Buckwalter serving as an alternate, Scott Benich, Anthony DiMatteo, and Angela Marley. Item number H is the Cocalico Area Regional Leaders, and our representative is Doug Grable. Item number I is the Cocalico Education Foundation, and serving there is Brett Buckwalter and Pamela Bickle. Item number J is a School Community Advisory Committee, which is Doug Grable and Pam Bickle. Item number K is the Comprehensive Planning Committee, Pam Bickle and Treva Bollinger. Item number L is the Negotiations Committee, Kevin Eshelman, myself, and Juanita Fox. Item number M is Budget. Again, myself, Kevin Eshelman, and Juanita Fox. Item number N is Facilities, Lynn Sensnick and Desiree Wagner. Curriculum, instruction and assessment, that's myself, Kevin Eshelman, and Desiree Wagner. Item number P is technology, Randy Renninger and Treva Bollinger. And item number Q is records management, Lynn Sensnick and Treva Bollinger. So those are the proposed appointments on the table. And do I hear a motion to approve those? Thank you. And is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Did I read all those correctly? Okay, having no questions or comments about that, we'll go to roll call vote. Thank you.
Mrs. Blickel,
Yes.
Mr. Sensenig,
Yes.
Mr. Renninger,
Yes.
Mr. Buckwalter,
Yes.
Ms. Wagner,
Yes.
Mrs. Fox,
Yes.
Mrs. Bollinger,
Yes.
Reverend Eshelman.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Look forward to a great year together. And we'll go to item number 5, which is our superintendent's report.
Thank you, and thank you for your willingness to serve in this way, and also a big thank you to Justice Hemmel for 42 years. That is
Absolutely.
quite significant. So I do want to thank everyone for willingness to step forward also as far as all those representatives in the different areas. Sometimes you're very busy in those areas, and then sometimes there's no need to be involved for a little while, depending on the action in those particular areas. I did put something in front of your places. This is usually a yearly reminder that we pull out, and it has to do with our policy, and it's policy 011, and it has to do with school board responsibilities, principles of governance and leadership. So we always review that on a yearly basis, and that's one of the expectations. So just sending that with you for your reference. Obviously, there are many other policies that have to do with board procedure, but that is just one of the ones that we review every year at this time. So I wanted to point that out to you. Also wanted to point out, just to circle back to something from our last meeting, we had looked at a preliminary draft for the immunization policy that we plan to put on the agenda for the December board meeting. There was a question about the one paragraph. There was an incorrect placement of a comma, so we corrected that. But because it refers to 3 different ways in which children can be exempt from immunizations, there was also a suggestion made that we number that. So we'll make that correction as well, and then it will go on the agenda for board approval at the December meeting. So that's just always part of the process, is making sure that you have a chance to see them in advance before you're expected to vote on them. So we're working through that process right now. And then finally, I just wanted to remind everyone that we are in the middle of holiday season, and so if you look at the school calendar, there are events at every school, concerts and musicals and events like that for you to enjoy and participate in, whether you have children in school or not, and so you are very welcome to attend those. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Musser. Thank you for that report. We've come to item number 6, which is general comments. So I'm going to turn to the board and ask if there's any general comments there. I will make a very general comment specifically. I know that, of course, in our community and when it comes to state legislature, that the issue of masking is still an issue. It's still being fought out in the courts. And we've made a decision at Cocalico School District to keep masks optional, and that simply continues to remain where we stand in all of that. A couple of things I'll just simply mention about that. Of course, this is being fought out in the courts. We, as a district, just didn't want to be playing the ball, the role of a ping pong ball being battled back and forth between this. We want to be about educating our kids. And so we're staying the course with this. I think as of today, we have 24 days left of school, 24 school days left until the January 17th release of that. Our intention is to stay the course with all of that as well. But a couple of things I'd like to say about that. One is, it is actually a mask optional status that we have. In other words, I would want anybody who's coming to the Cocalico School District that because of their own health needs or because they're around someone who's vulnerable, I would want them to be as free to wear a mask without any ramifications as someone who is not going to wear a mask. And so I'd ask all of us, of course, and I think that we are, I think that's my understanding of where things are in the district, to be respectful of all. And so to care for those that may be in a vulnerable position, and even though they're coming to school and they're perfectly healthy, we don't know what they're facing at home or what they may be concerned about dragging home. And so I would want, in this mask optional environment, just for us to be respectful and ultimately then responsible. As we head into flu season, cold season, I don't know how you tell the difference between a cold and COVID from natural symptoms. I don't know how that is. We just need to be extra wise during this season, have a little bit of extra caution, and in so doing, we can care for one another in this process. And I appreciate Cocalico School District and our community doing that. And I just wanted to make that statement that we're not making statements that are anti-masking. It is that it's your choice. It's between you and your family and your children and your doctor and what's best for you. And we would want everybody's choice to be respected in that process. And just simply wanted to make that statement this evening.
Thank
We-
you. Thank you.
We do have one person signed up for public comment this evening, so Dan Burton, if you'd come to the front, please.
I'll keep it short, thank you. I wanted to congratulate the 4 electors, I guess we'll say, this evening, so congratulations. Brett, Doug, Incognito, Treva, and Lynn, so congratulations on that. I also wanted to just solidify my stance on what I said the last meeting to all of you and on behalf of most of the community. The decisions that you guys made the last school board meeting and the meeting before that, I believe they are righteous ones, giving parental authority back to the parents and the people of the community. I did say that it was going to be just the beginning, not the end. And I will re-solidify the fact that I will stand behind you with those righteous decisions, just as Reverend Eshelman said this evening. It is mask optional. I'm all about that. If you want to have the vaccine, that's fine with you. If you want to wear a mask, that's fine that's up to you. I just don't want to be forced upon anybody. That's not freedom. So as you continue to make those decisions that are constitutional and freedom-based, realize that we will continue to back you, and I will die on that hill with you. So I just want to make sure I solidified that with you all this evening. So thank you very much. Congratulations again, and have a Merry Christmas. Well, I guess we'll see.
Okay, let me just turn back to the school board. Any additional comments that any of you would have? Anything you'd like to bring back?
Kevin, I would just say I really appreciated your comments, and I would say something that Patty and I do a lot is we pray a lot for the health and safety of our staff and our kids. So please, I would say join us all in that endeavor, because I think it's been great that we've had fairly low case counts and all that kind of stuff, but that's still a concern out there. So
Agreed.
I think, keep praying.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks. Okay, hearing no further comments, just one final comment that I have is after our meeting this evening, the board will be regathering for an executive session to discuss some legal matters, and that'll be happening a little bit later this evening. So having said that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.